Welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk About It, where we have educational, entertaining conversations regarding dating from personal experiences, not from generalizations or anything like that. Tonight, I also have to give my disclaimers at the top. We're not specialists. I'm not a relationship expert. My guest is not a relationship expert.
Me neither.
Nah,
Me neither.
we just two brothers tonight. Two brothers just talking. All right. So first, sir, you introduce yourself and let us know your age and what state are you in.
Oh man, my age, brother. Goodness, yes, I'm up there. But Jelani J.B. Bodie, 46 years old, and I'm in the G8, Georgia.
I did not know you were 46.
Yeah, 46, bro. Yeah, kicking. Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, almost at the half. Almost at the half.
Yeah, dude, I did not know you were 46 because I thought you was right there with me because I'm 39.
I can be. All I got to do is just tell people I'm 39. So.
Nah, you know, 39 plus extra. So no. We gotta do the full count. All right. So tonight I think it's gonna be a fun episode. Once we get through the first set of questions, people will know what is different about this particular episode because you're the first guest of a certain time, a certain demographic to be on here for this. So started off what everybody is normally used to with the dating questions. I start with the first list. Everybody gets this first list just to get a benchmark and really get to see how the conversation is going to go. So first question, are you single?
No.
Okay. So let's no, not a hesitation. Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
What is your relationship status?
I am married, sir.
Okay, so definitely y'all, he's not eligible, so no sliding in the hands like, oh my God, you look good.
See, that's way after me. So like slide, it's more of this little thingamajig in here. What is this? This deep.
If you got the camera all the way up to your face looking for it, no. So he's not on the market. I got him on here for a reason. Though. We're talking about black married men. What does it look like? Okay. So you are in a serious long-term monogamous relationship. Other question I asked, what is your spiritual life like? Specifically, who is Jesus to you? I asked this question because, especially when dating, people may have different faiths, but normally Jesus is like a barometer. Whether you're Christian, Jew, Muslim, agnostic, atheist, whatever, everybody looks at him a different way.
I'm just trying to do the right thing. I will say I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness initially, but like that's pretty much it, So, but yeah, God is all. Whoever it is that you praise to, I'm cool with it.
Gotcha. So for you, that's what your particular thing. All right, cool. Are you a parent?
Am I a parent?
Yes.
I don't even know if you call it that. It's more of a doer, right? They tell me what to do, or she tells me what to do. But yeah, it's categorized as a parent. So yeah, I would say I'm a parent.
Other sub question with that: would you like to have another child?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I've told her that. I said you are enough. You are everything I need. So yeah.
So she doesn't have to share or anything like that. Okay. Good. Have you healed from past relationships and or any childhood trauma?
Have I healed?
Yes.
Yeah, I've healed from past relationships. So when you say trauma, like just trauma, just in general trauma or relationship trauma?
Childhood trauma.
Just childhood trauma. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I would say so. Yeah, it doesn't haunt me or anything. You always remember it, but it doesn't affect me daily or anything like that.
Gotcha. So nothing is lingering that would affect you or your relationship or anything like that. Okay. Do you have a legal form of income?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you understand? You got to be clear on this stuff when you're saying it. So I definitely understand. But yes. I they send me taxes every year. So
you good. So, and this again, this is for people who are still out here. You don't have to worry about this anymore, but just a general conversation. Because you could be married and not be working. You could have, your wife is the breadwinner. You just stay at home husband.
True. This is true. And you're absolutely right. So when you said legal, I thought you were just asking me, and you ain't no, doughboy or nothing like
I
that,
mean, that's what your income is. So you
Maybe,
could say no. Yeah.
possibly, yeah, perhaps. But no, yeah, I'm legit.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Good deal. Do you have your own motor or electric transportation?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Here
Cool.
in Atlanta, you gotta have it.
Even unless you work from home, you just or you take a bus or Uber everywhere.
This is true. But then you still need to go somewhere and it's always 30 minutes.
Yeah. So hey, can't do it with the Atlanta. You all have it. You all have it. I have enough here in Fort Worth. You have your own residence.
Yes, I do.
Cool. So not a homosexual. Then, do you currently have any warrants, or have you ever done anything that will warrant a warrant or incarceration?
Nah. I'm not built for jail. I know that.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to subject myself to it. No.
Yeah. I'm not trying to find out what it's about or, I seen some stuff on TV. No, I ain't.
No. We gotta have street cred. There you go. I got you.
I don't need
No. If you needed to take out a loan to get a new car or appliance, would the finance agent come back with great news, or here's what we can do?
Now, yes. Great news. When I
Okay.
was in my 20s, hey, bro, this is what we can do.
Okay.
But yeah, great
So
news.
over time. Okay. So
Mhm.
good. But at least you're honest about it. Everybody has to talk about, what is your path. Not it takes a minute to get to where we are to those certain things. Okay. So I do have a baseline of where I want to go with certain things. And I told you in the pre-show, but for others to know, I specifically asked Jelani on because I wanted to get a married man's perspective on things. So we heard from single people, men and women, had an engaged brother on. I got a married man, just to really talk about things from that particular angle, and then what also led up to getting married and him sustaining his marriage. Because how long have you been married?
It's been 18 years.
18 years.
On the books. That's what I always say. You want on the books or off the books, but 18 years on the books.
10 years on the books. Okay, so that's with marriage license certificate, all that, the filed stuff. Yes, government recognized. Okay, so with it. So ISO boom may be a little bit different, and what ISO boom is that's everybody's particular dating scenario, and you just talk about how that scenario went, and you have to preface it with ISO boom because everybody knows the best stories start with that. When you're really about to get into it, like ISO boom is what happened. Okay, so in your situation, can you tell us how did you meet your wife?
Oh man, that's really interesting because from time to time I think I go back and I think about that moment. Um, so we met in college.
You got it. All right, so boom.
So we met in college,
Mhm.
and the crazy part about it is that when I had moved here, because I used to live in Michigan. So when I moved here, I need to take a class, right? Right. So I was looking at all the classes and everything, trying, how you try and make the schedule work and all that stuff. And there was a class. I said, you know what? I can probably fit this class in here, and I did. So when I took the class, she was in the class. But the crazy part about it, I guess you kind of want to know the whole story, or just you want me to chop it up and get to.
How you want to tell the story?
So how it initially started was the classroom. I was sitting on one side, she was sitting on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got bored on the side that I was on because there wasn't nobody over there. So like no women, no nothing. So so I said, I'm gonna go over to this other side. And so I just happened to sit behind her and just general conversation at that point. And that general conversation over time, you're in class with someone, you're talking about, the class stuff and everything, and we laughing at stuff in class. So then we just got cool.
Mm-hmm.
It just turned into just being cool. If I remember correctly, though, because if I remember correctly, she might have, she either maybe was getting out of a relationship or she had a boyfriend or whatever. But I was like, that's you, this is just somebody I'm cool with or whatever. So over that time, after, we just got cool. And over that time, I think, whatever was going on with that relationship during the semester, whatever was over. So we just cool. We stayed cool for probably about a year after that. Staying in touch or whatever, and we'll hang out, from time to time. So this just became my friend, at this point. But family members, you know how family members are. They start seeing you like, who is that? Who is that? What's that all about? And all that stuff. We just cool or whatever. But it just developed to even more over time because it was a lot of stuff we had in common. It started turning into we finish each other's sentences. It turned into, you know, uh, her family. I got along well with her family, and she got along well with my family. So just over that time, and she really kind of put it there, to just be like, hey, maybe we need to, do something with this. Or whatever. Yeah, I myself, I was really worried about the friendship because I was just like, that's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope when you start going into, that relationship part and taking it to a different level or whatever. But she was just like, you know what? I think we can try this. So I just thought about it and I just said, you know what? I'll take that chance. I'll step out on it, and our relationship just continued to grow, over it. And you asked about like the date part. It was just funny because we hung out and everybody thought we was already a couple. And officially, I think our first date might have been a year and a half or 2 years after meeting each other. We went to Applebee's.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't go to Fogo de Chao or no $9,000 place or anything like that. We went to Applebee's, had a great time, and laughed and just it was funny because we sat there and we was just like, you know what? This is actually our like first date, like, but we had been, with each other for a while or whatever at that point, just hanging out. So it just felt like I was hanging out with my friend, at that point. And we just had a good time and I enjoyed it. Obviously, 18 years later,
Right.
after marriage, on the books, 18 years later, but it just continued to grow, and she met, more of my folks. I met more of her folks and everything. And, I met her cousin. He was one of the coolest brothers I ever met.
I mean, we want to
You
kick
know,
ball game and all that.
yeah, So,
Right.
but yeah, it was a little bit different. It wasn't the traditional like, dang, I'm gonna go try and talk to her or whatever and see what's up. But I loved it. I loved it because to me there was some substance, there already, and wasn't I'm trying to impress you, you trying to impress me or anything like that. It's just let's go out, let's have a good time. Let's see what happens.
From there. All right, so you said something that's actually different. I think you're the first I've also heard, for especially men, who said like you were more concerned about messing up the friendship as opposed to you trying to move things to a different level. And she's the one who had to press the button, like, hey, let's make this a little bit more, concrete than this. So did you have any thoughts about, hey, this we could possibly be more than friends, but I just don't want to risk messing up the friendship. And how did you mentally get over that hurdle of that fear? Because I know some people do have that fear of moving from, hey, we have a friendship as a foundation. There could be more here, but I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this part. How did you get past that?
And that's a good question because when we had that conversation, it was about the friendship, but also it was I had done that before, and it didn't end well.
Gotcha.
So I just kind of had that out there, and it was just like, do I really want to risk that? Um, to where that relationship ceased to exist anymore,
Mm-hmm.
because of going into a relationship. But then I thought about it, and I really just sat down and I just weighed things out, pros and cons, and it just I end up finding out, more pros. I end up listing more pros
Mm-hmm.
uh, that I had, but I just wanted, and this was the other thing too. When I told myself is that if you're going to do this, you have to be all in.
Right.
It can't be any type of, apprehension or anything like that. Is that you got to fully go in and fully believe,
Right.
that that don't think about, hey, what if?
Yes.
Because I don't have the answer.
Right.
So it's pointless to do that. So if I'm going to commit, then that what if, all that stuff is gone out. But also, I had I had a good sample size of,
Mm-hmm.
of what that looked like too. And so I was at a little bit of an advantage from other folks, because I don't think, some folks have that advantage. They'll have friends or whatever, but they may not have like a real cool close friend, or you have that every so often or whatever. So I think I had a little bit of an advantage, but I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta be all in.
I like that particular point because I do think there is people deal with hesitations, and when it comes to relationship, or we go into a relationship with it in the back of our head. Man, what if we break up? It's like, yo, you're not even really giving it, a real full mental and emotional shot. If you already in the back of your head think, okay, what could go wrong with it, instead of just focusing on what is right here and then moving forward. Now, and not saying that you have to be, walking blindly or ignoring red flags or anything like that, but if you're already going into a situation thinking that it's going to be in, like I tell people, like with marriage and divorce, nobody gets married thinking they're going to get a divorce. Like we
That
ultimately exchange vows thinking it's going to be last forever. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. Same thing with a relationship. I wouldn't commit to you and say yes if I really didn't think it could be more than that. Especially as adults, because we ain't got time to waste. We're not in high school where it's just we
yeah,
walking to school together, we holding hands in the hallway. No, us being in a relationship actually means something. So I got to be fully in. You got to be fully in. You can't have neither one of us needs to have one foot out the door because we already are expecting the worst situation.
exactly, exactly. You can't. Um, I mean, it's just like anything. If and I'm a big sports person, so I relate a lot of things to sports
Mhm.
uh, when I give examples. But if I'm out there playing football, I can't say, well, I'm just gonna run over here no, you got to commit. You got to go out there, and your mind has to fully be right.
Right.
You have to be fully engaged. You have to, really be paying attention. And I look at that, kind of the same way with relationships, is that your mind has to be right. You have to be fully engaged. You have to, you have to be prepared,
Mhm.
as well. So yeah, going into it, you can't be half stepping. That's
Right.
my thing.
Okay. So with you all having so much tenure together, what do you think? So man, so what age were you when you two got together officially?
I was, let's see, I moved down here. I think I was, let's see, I think I was 22, if I remember correctly, because I met her when I was 21. Yeah, so I was 22, probably getting ready to turn 23.
So relationship wise, emotional maturity, mental maturity, what do you think are some of we could say 3 points of difference between Jelani at 22 and Jelani at 46? What do you think you have learned, or how have you grown in these 20 plus years?
And that from this relationship, I would say one of the big things is that, and I I learned this, and this is the great part, because it led me to you.
Hmm.
And I say this with all seriousness, is that, um, like in my background, it was I had I have we have family members,
Hmm.
but I grew up in Michigan. They're from Georgia. So, there was just a big distance between. And it is what it is. So it was just like me and my immediate family, it was like we banded together, and it's kind of like us against the world, put our backs to each other and protect each other. But meeting her has a big family, right? They're in big different spots. They all come together and everything. So as far as like 20-something-year-old Jelani, I was just like, okay, yeah, family, that's cool. But, I didn't have any experiences there.
Right.
So then, getting with her family, and they took me in. I mean, like, they took me in immediately. We went, she took me to a family reunion. And when I got to that family reunion, I think we probably had been together probably about a year at that point. But when I got to that family reunion, it was like, oh, you Jelani.
Okay.
I done heard about you, and so it's just people there and they're just like, hey, we're talking. So that whole family thing, it changed for me over, because if that hadn't happened, I probably still would have been more standoffish. I probably just kind of be on my own, do my own thing or whatever. So I would say that. I would say being able to, how can I put this? Being able to, I'm a patient person, but being in a relationship can test can test that.
Yeah.
It can test that. But it's more of, I'm being patient, but I'm being more understanding.
Yeah.
Right? Don't initially just, go to, it must be this, right? Take that. What is it? Ask questions and then come back and say, do I fully understand? And then also, this is a great part about it as well with stuff, because she's straightforward. If I ask her a question, she's going to give me an answer. I don't have to assume anything.
Right.
I can go ask, So I will do that just with other people. And it's just like, and I'm talking about anything. It could be personal relationship, work relationship. It's just, I'll be at work and somebody will be like, oh, such and such, such and such. Have you talked to him? Have you asked a question? I learned that just from, in the relationship. Right. They was like, nah, I ain't talked to him. Maybe you need to talk to him. You might be enlightened or find something out, or they may just answer your question because they're right there.
Right.
Hey, you were right, man. And it's just like, yeah, just ask. Just ask the question. Right. They may just answer it. They may surprise you and they answer it, and you get exactly, what it is.
Right.
And then I would say the third, I'm still working on this. It's being sociable, right? Because she can go anywhere and complete strangers or whatever, and she'll be having a conversation with somebody, and I'm just looking. I'm just like, you don't even know these folks. Just talking, And I know it's just general conversation, but it is good just to, because you never know, And again, I lead it to you, because if I had just sat in the corner, I don't know if we'd be having this conversation right now, So it's just like, you never know, Jelani, when get out there, put yourself out there and just say something here and there, Everybody don't have to, it don't have to be everybody, but, somebody.
Somebody. So you said 2 points, and that's what made me laugh. One is with the latter point, like, I think a lot of friendships, and sometimes in relationships too, is always like one person, well, I won't say always, again, no generalizations. I've often seen that it's more so one person's more extroverted than the other person, and then they wind up drawing each other, and it's like, hold on, I don't even want to do this, but you're doing it, all right, I'll go with you. And so that's what gets it out. And it's funny, I think, even with my own dating scenarios, I think initially I was the introvert, the one that was reserved. I forget social circles and stuff like that. And then I think it kind of flipped, and now I'm the one, oh, hey, what's blah, 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 blah. But I had to make a mental change in order to start doing that too. So that's kind of funny. And I think a lot of people will really take heed with the point that you made about asking for understanding. instead of assuming. I think that would cut a lot of stuff out with relationships. If we just really, and especially if we ask the question and are open to whatever answer comes back, as opposed to we want this one answer that we've already in our brains, settled. This is what you need to say. If you say anything other than that, this is about to go to a whole nother level. We're about to escalate these things. So I think that's the bigger thing I really like when you talk about that part. How
Yeah.
long did it take for you to get to that part as far as like being patient and asking and getting an understanding?
Well, because she from the get go, she's direct. So it's just, that kind of was just because when we at first, and I think that kind of what drew her to me to a certain degree is that as friends, we used to butt heads.
Okay.
Like it was just like down in the paint and playing basketball. Just if it was something, we would just butt heads about
Right.
it. Um, and I just think it was, she was just like, okay, he not really backing down, and I'm like, okay, she not backing down. Um, we have strong, views and everything, or strong opinions, I should say. We got strong opinions, but then at the end of the day, all right, I get it,
Right.
because it was brought to me. So it I, I think it got easy because it was there. It wasn't anything that had to be.
You have to
I
dig
never
for
had,
it.
what's
You
that?
never had to dig for it. You just had to
Yeah,
just forget.
yeah. I never had to dig for it. So
And that works, and I think that will help with a lot of things. So, and also with you being married, 18 years, I
mhm.
know a lot of people when to talk about marriage just to think about, dang, I'm stuck with this one person this whole time. It's just it can get old or it can get stale. Things can get boring. What have you done? Have you dealt with any of that, or what have you done personally to try to keep your marriage from getting stale or old or routine or anything like that?
So I'll say this with the first part you were talking about with um, having the mindset like, oh, I'm gonna be with one person for the rest of my life. I think some of it is just part of who I just am. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because of that not necessarily being that social butterfly or whatever. It's just like I want to deal with a whole bunch of people,
Right.
you know. But then also I'm, I'm like, yeah, I only want to be with one person because I the way I thought of it is that and because we're in our 20s and everything,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have these experiences. And I told myself this, you're gonna have these experiences, Jelani. And when you look back on it and the conversation you have, do you want to be like, okay, who is that when that happened?
Right.
Who is that when that happened? Or do you just want to be like, remember that time,
Mm-hmm.
XYZ or whatever? Remember that time, we went, to this restaurant and that, funny thing happened. Or remember that time we was in Las Vegas and you were walking next to Jermaine Dupri and you thought he was a little kid,
Right.
stuff like
But that
that.
can happen.
Yeah, and that did happen because I looked down and I said, that is Jermaine Dupri. I said, oh, okay, so yeah, so I'm a big person who says embrace the journey,
Mm-hmm.
fall in love with the journey because we always want to get to the destination, we always want to get to the goal, and that's fine, and you should want to do that. But then if you never enjoyed the process or you never fell in love with the process, you may not appreciate it as much,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes things come to people and then when they just come to people, they just think, oh, it's just gonna happen. Um, so, in that, it's just like, yeah, there's only one person that I really just want to have all these experiences with. When I got my first motorcycle, when I got when we got a house, when we got, taking my first trip out of the country, all that stuff that's going to happen. When I start getting old and my bones start cracking or whatever, there's only one person that I want to be doing that, with. Um, so for me, I was just like, yeah, it's and I don't want to start over. I don't want to, I would rather, uh, work on things, compromise, have discussions, and and all that stuff. So, but as far as like just doing different, I mean, me, I'm a little bit of a clown or whatever. So, you know, it's coming up with certain words or whatever, or something like a certain saying that we may say. Like I do, I will, if I'm explaining a story, right? And let's just say I'm at Walmart, right? And five people walk past the greeter, and they get to me, and the greeter is like, "Yo, let me see your receipt."
Right.
So I'm gonna explain the story, but I'm gonna tell her, I'm gonna be like, yeah, so greeter man, gonna stop me or whatever. And so I use that certain terminology, and then she'll just pick up on it, how I say stuff. So
Right.
then she'll tell a story kind of the
Mm.
same, same if something happens. We try to definitely take trips, know. Um, you definitely try to um, stay in contact, because you can get busy throughout
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day. Um, you just gotta take time, just take a break, sit there and just have just a simple conversation. Sit there and maybe watch a show.
Right.
Um, but just make sure you continue to remember your priorities.
Right.
All of our priorities will change, especially when you have a kid, and all that stuff. But um, that doesn't mean that person is not a priority. So still trying to make sure that person is a priority. You have to make sacrifices, in that. It could be, maybe things get stretched out a little bit, over time, but as long as that person still know that they're a priority, then I think you're good on that.
So that's how you made it to 18 years. Okay. Because I know some people would that is a concern. It's like, okay, dang, this relationship for 2 years. Okay, I don't know. You starting to get on my nerves already. Do I really want to spend 30 years with you? Like, how do I keep that? If we do the same thing. You go to work, I go to work. We come home, we eat dinner, we go to bed, we get up the next morning, and it's the same thing. And I think also with talking about relationships, just knowing that, especially with marriage, continuing to date each other as opposed to just think, well, I got you, I don't got to do anything else. It's like whatever it took to get the person, you got to keep doing that same thing, and then even build upon that so it doesn't get into that routine, that little form thing where it's just, I already know what we're gonna do. Friday we about to do this. It's gonna be this. There's no surprise. There's no fire. The passion is going because we got each other now. And hey, you sit on the couch, I sit on the couch, and we just do our own.
And I will say this too. Don't get me wrong. Social media is
Mm.
fine. Social media is good, but I think also what there's something to be said about having your privacy as well. And I don't think sometimes I think people lose sight of that, or maybe they kind of forget that, because it's just so easy to post something
Mm.
really quick or something like that. Because on our social media pages, you may see me here and there on hers. You may see her on mine here and there or whatever. But in my mind, I'm just like, that's my lady.
Mm.
Don't nobody need to know, what, don't nobody need to know everything that
Right.
we're doing, Hey, we're sitting here at nah. Turn
I,
that turn that thing off and enjoy that company that you
yeah.
have, that person that you have, in front of you. And then again, going back to, the journey and everything. When you have a conversation and everything. If I'm too busy just posting and all this stuff or whatever, yeah, when we talking about stuff in the past or whatever, it's going to involve that device and everything. So it's just like privacy is a major thing. Privacy is key um, in a marriage, because no one no one has your best interest at heart but you.
Right.
There is no, you got people that love you, they got people that root for you and everything. But if you come and say, hey, buddy, whoever, and I'm just using your name, Trion, so I need help, here, you're going to be like, that's your lady. Like, no, So that's why I'm like, you'll help so much, but if you can, but nobody's gonna have that interest more than you, and that's how I always think of it. So it's just like I don't need to be public with everything because marriages, and I tell people, marriages is work. When you get married, I forgot who said this. Oh man, I was watching it. Uh, it was Kev on stage and another gentleman, and I'm sorry I can't remember it.
I think I know where you're going with it.
But he was talking about his wife, and he was talking about that he's been married to 6 different people, and he was just explaining like we all as we get older, we grow, we mature, we change, we are whatever and everything. So it's just like um when that happens and you're in a relationship with someone, that's how you got to think of it, is that when I get married, the person I'm married today is not going to be the person 5, 10, 15, maybe even a year from the time that you got married. So it's, can you adapt, can you adjust, again, compromise, working together. That's the biggest thing, working together. And if both of you are trying to work together on it, then you got a shot, but um, that just stuck out to me when he said that, because it's like, yeah, when we were in our 20s, yeah,
It's a whole thing.
yeah, totally different stuff that was important to us or whatever. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. I mean, we appreciate naps, just yeah,
I love it.
yeah. In my 20s, I'll be like, nap, what's that? Like, so yeah, it's you always gotta keep it private, make sure you know, adjust, and just make
Protecting your
sure,
home,
yeah,
protecting your relationship. That's
definitely
what it really goes down. Because I
put in
think
the work.
we talked about. I think we said it online too. Like, there's a difference between keeping something secret and just keeping it private. Those are two different things. The secret, it's not like you're saying you're public. If people were to look at you online, it's not that they wouldn't know that you're married. You just don't have to put it in their face every single day, every time y'all do
Mhm.
something. Hey, I'm married. Look at my wife. Look at my wife. Look at my wife. Look at my ring. It's okay. Hey, we got it. We understand. But knowing in private, everybody doesn't need to be in the business. You may have your select circle. Okay, hey, if I need some sound counsel and I know you got some sense, let me bounce this off for you. Maybe let's vent for a second, and then I'm gonna go back. Ultimately, I gotta fix my own relationship. It's gonna be on that. But if you are a sound counsel and I trust you and I love you and I know you at least have positive intent for us, yeah, we can talk about it. But everything doesn't need to go outside the house.
And you said it at the beginning when we came on. I'm not a specialist. I'm not, a professional. So that's the other thing. When you reach out to that person that you're reaching out to, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you understand they're not a professional. They're gonna have your best interests and everything. But like you said, at the end of the day, you're making the final
Mm-hmm.
decision. So that is just more of, I'm taking intel. You giving me insight about something, but no one knows it better than me.
Right.
So I'm gonna take that, process it, and then make the best decision, going forward after.
How you do it. All right. So with that, we're gonna go until tell you I gotta because I knew that you were gonna be the guest. um, first married person, I actually was inspired to write a whole new list of questions, and this is going to be for married people and those who are just in a relationship. I don't mean just as in just, but it's just not a little with marriage. So those who are committed to someone, we'll put it that way. All right. So first question is, how long have you been in a relationship? So total, how long have you two been together?
Mm,
Even before marriage.
even before marriage. So, uh, I want to say officially it was, oh man, 2000, 2001. Yeah, because it was near the end of 2001. So, you can kind of say 2002. So yeah, almost 23
Yeah.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good long time. All right. So have find that you are married, and you said you've been married 18 years, correct?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. What is the biggest lesson you learned over the course of your relationship?
The biggest lesson that I've learned. I would say mind your business. Mind your business. Um, mind to your business. Because I've seen where too many times someone hasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and then it impacts their relationship because there's a third party involved
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't need to be involved. Whoever it is, the mama, your daddy, sister, brother, friend, cousin, coworker, you know, any mind your business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't no third party stuff, you know. Don't invite any active third parties.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not only minding your business, but don't letting everybody into your own business. Is that where you're going
Mhm.
with? Okay.
Yep.
All right, got you completely with that. What are two or three things you like the most about being married?
Seeing one person every single day.
Right.
Um, Sharing those experiences that either has happened, will happen, or want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I would say the I enjoy going to what I mean by that is that you you enter into this world, and when you enter into this world, we all know everybody ain't gonna like. We know everybody ain't gonna have your best interest,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I just think it's something to me. It's something to find somebody that you know what I'm gonna get in this hole with you, and whatever the world has for us, we going we're gonna fight.
Right.
We're gonna fight, and by no means am I just some superhero and I can just do it all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it's not. That's not true. And it's the other way around. Because sometimes with it is that we tend to be you know people who everybody come to us, right? They come to us, and it's just like, well, they come to us, but they never check on me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I gotta have somebody that's gonna check on me.
Right.
You get what
I
I'm
get
saying? Or
it completely.
and we'll know just like, you know what, something ain't right or whatever. Or if it's all of us are gonna have moments in life. Life is not fair.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, and I think this probably really what kind of pushed it over the edge to go into a relationship. I remember when I lost my father,
Mm-hmm.
and she was one of the first people I called, right? And I was just calling, I was upset,
Right.
but I was just calling because I was just like, I'm gonna have to say something at some point or whatever, but I'm gonna tell her, right? And she popped up in my apartment,
Mm-hmm.
not no, hey, do you want me to? She just came by, and it's just like that's somebody, it's just like, hey,
She got
when yeah, she got me. When it gets tough or anything like that or whatever, or I need to, because people, a lot of people don't want to, say this or whatever, but hey, if it's a moment I need to cry or
you.
whatever, that's who I want to be there if I'm going to be crying, because she got my back. So it's just like, to me, that's one of the three best things is that, you know what, we're gonna go to war, we're gonna fight, we're gonna do whatever it is we need to do. We do our due diligence and everything, and we'll see what happens. I'll take my chance. I'll take my chances with her any day.
Right. like this. So, and that even shows, because I think more has been talked about online about men having that security from the woman also, and just that it really not only do we need to be that safe place for them, but them also being that safe place for us, and us when you found that in your life, and that's a good thing, just to have the testament like, hey, I got my person I can have life with, I can have experiences with this whole journey of life. And even when things get down, she's the first person I want to talk to with it, and it's so precious. It's a beautiful thing.
because you're going to be there at some point in life. You're gonna have, and I've had them like, and it's just like you. It's something to be said that you know what, like things ain't going right, and I'm not talking about necessarily just like, oh, our relationship, we're having problems or nothing like that. I'm just talking about in life. Is that you know what, things ain't going right, and those things aren't going right. And right now, what I need is just somebody just to be there.
Right.
To they gonna put my arm over their shoulder, and they just like, I see all of this. I see the gorillas, I see the bears, I see the lions, I see the tigers, I see all sharks and everything. You know what? That's where we're going. We're gonna get through this together. And we may be all cut up at the end of it, but we're gonna get through it. And we're gonna get through it together. And to me, that's one of them things that you know what? Ain't nothing out there, that it's just like I'm gonna be like it's too much. Nah, I'm gonna do whatever it is I need to do, you know. And we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. And I tell my daughter this all the time because I say we Bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't quit. Now, if you take a L, ain't got no problem with that. But we don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna fight. If we lose, we just lose. Right. I can take a L, but what I can't take is quitting. Right. So she's not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. That means a lot to me.
Now I'm gonna add a point, and you said they want to wrap your arms around it. I just want to go on record and say I like being a little spoon sometimes too. So hey, sometimes wrap your arms around. I just gotta put that out there. I ain't always gotta be big spoon. Hold me. Next question. So we talked about 2 or 3 things that you like most about being married. What are 1 or 2 things that you aren't the most fond of in the relationship or marriage?
Oh man. I would say
I like what I would say. That was good.
Yeah, I would say probably not fond of. I can't say that because that's more. I'd say that's more my fault. But I would say probably not fond of it because I was gonna say like kind of like sometimes when we do things, I'm but I'm not as much of a social butterfly, so that's my fault. So that's
still the point though. Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay, then yeah, then I could use that. It's just like it's just like man, because she'll be like, oh, you should go, you should talk to somebody, such and such and all that stuff. I don't want to. But it's just like, okay, I get it, and then I kind of force myself to do it, but it's just like I don't like that. I don't, but it just it's just one of those things. Everything ain't gonna be perfect.
Yeah, like I said, not perfect. And the purpose for those, like I said, this is breaking in a whole new list. So the explanation for why that question even made the list is because there are some things that we know. Like we said, marriage is compromise. There are some things we have to do that we aren't going to be the most excited about, but we do it for the sake of the relationship. So it's like, hey, it's not going to kill me. It's not the end of the world. It's not one of my, breaking a non-negotiable or anything like that. It's just that this may be something that may not have been in my nature, but I'm gonna do it just for the sake of this relationship. So even if it goes to the extent of, I know some people who are like, I've been single so long, I'm used to doing things all alone. You telling me now I'm with somebody, I got to be considerate of them. I got to check in with them. I got to check in with, spending money. I can't just go out and buy this whole thing. I got to consult them first. Like, hold up. That's the thing. So just the adjustment and mental things. When we talk about, okay, yeah, marriage is work, marriage is compromise, going into those particular elements, this is not necessarily the most comfortable for us, but we have to do it in order to make things work. So that's the essence behind that particular question.
But yeah, and you do kind of need, you do kind of need some of those things as well. Because it's, I think someone just said it in here, but they were saying something different, but it's a lesson, right? It's a lesson that you can learn from that, and you learn how to deal with certain things, because there's people that don't know how to, deal with it. And it's just like you said, I don't like it. I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to do it. And it's just like, that's not helping the relationship out. That's not doing anything for it. And it's just, I mean, and the other way around. You think everything that I want or whatever that she just like, oh boy, like no, yeah, I'm also something that she'd be like, man, I don't want to do that or whatever, but she do it or whatever.
It's the behind the scenes stuff, the work that goes into it. All right, next question. What are 2 or 3 things you like about your partner that aren't physical or sexual? So you can't just, man, that girl's so fine. She wake up in the morning. And I tell her to turn around. Like, none of that beyond the physical. What are the things that you like the most about your wife?
Not physical or sexual.
Mhm.
I will say one is her drive. She from the day that I met her, like, now I'm gonna spoil something here. I'm a little upset, Trion, now. I'm a little perturbed, on this. I thought I was just gonna be sitting at home doing nothing, eating bonbons. Because when we met, she said, she was gonna be a doctor,
Oh,
pediatrician.
that.
Yeah. I said, oh, yeah, do that. Do that. Go ahead, do that. I sit here and eat these bonbons. But she said, no, I don't want to do that no more. I said, okay, what you want to do? I want to be a lawyer. Okay,
Right, that's good too.
Yeah, she didn't do the lawyer, but she found her calling and everything. But the reason and I'm joking, so people don't take me serious, like, oh, he was just gonna sit at home, put his feet up and eat some bonbons. So, but no, the reason I bring those up is because it was just like, hey, this is what I want to do. So when she wanted to be a pediatrician, she was reading these books. She was doing, she was looking into all the stuff of what I need to do, and she was preparing, to do that. And then same thing with being a lawyer. But then when she found what she actually, wanted to do or whatever, it's just like, all right, here's my plan. What's my end game? What do I want? What do I want to get accomplished and everything? All right, cool. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And she dedicates herself, to that.
Right.
And she, her career, she advanced further and further and further and further, in it. And it's just like, it's important to her. So her drive, that's one thing that I do like. Another thing you said that's not physical or sexual. Um, I will say, I will say this. It is she's she's pretty much fearless,
Okay.
with um, and it's just like, oh, that's what you want to do? Okay. Oh, that's what yeah, okay. Just go for it. Go
Mm-hmm.
for it. Not it doesn't start with um what could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't start with what do I need to be worried about.
Right.
It's more of, oh, that's it. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. How can we make it happen?
Mm-hmm.
So just going into it full go, fearless, and everything. So I would say, those are two things. I'm sure there's some other things, but you asked me on the spot.
Yeah, because this is what we do. This is what I do with the questions, and I really like, especially with you just saying that. Okay, you could come to her. Hey, babe, I'm thinking about doing X, Y, Z, and our first reaction is, all right, hey, that's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. As opposed to, you sure that's gonna work? I don't know. Had you thought about such? Like you can get into the minutia later, but at that point, you were just going for the support, and so I definitely understand. So that's a cool thing. Um, so I'm putting you on the spot again with the next question. What are one or two things you would like your partner to do more of or improve in?
Mm, well, I've told her, I've said this. Stop cutting me off when I'm talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, that's just but that's a pet peeve of mine of
Mm-hmm.
anybody is that because I'm like, I just don't like it.
Right.
So don't cut me off or whatever. Something else I don't like. Um, volunteer me for stuff.
You don't want to be
Volunteer.
you don't want to be part of the big part of the parent teacher conference, and you don't want to go help somebody with
Because
their furniture, nothing like that. You don't want to do that.
bro, it's you you know the Universe Soul Circus,
Yeah,
right?
because they here now. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they got a part on there where they be like, all right, we need some volunteers to come on down. And she just and here he is, put me out there and got me in a dance competition. I didn't know it was a
That
dance
video.
competition.
I
Huh?
gotta see that video. I'm gonna have to go on that page and look for it.
Got me in the dance competition. And then I done got competitive,
Yeah.
Treon, because it was the fathers against the mothers. So
Uh-huh.
now, yeah, yeah. And I'm out there and I'm surveying my team
Uh-huh.
because I'm looking. I'm like, do we got any weak links on there? And I discovered the weak link. So
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I gotta go. I'm out there doing the kid and play. I'm talking about jumping over the leg,
Oh, no.
yeah, because she know how competitive I'm gonna be, and then you just put me out there. I'm like, don't volunteer me for stuff like that, because I'm gonna go out there, and then I'm not gonna quit.
Right.
I'm not gonna quit. So yeah, I'm out there doing the kid and play. I'm out there, doing the James Brown split and all that stuff. Uh, I think I challenged somebody, mama, like I really got up in their face, like you got served,
You're doing that too. I can see you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So,
really
but
do.
I wasn't prepared to do all that. So it's just like,
Mm.
ah, don't be volunteering me for stuff.
Got you. All right. And the explanation of that question, why that question got on the list, is not to be messy or petty with anybody, but just for, I think one of the best things I've heard from another tenured married couple was like they do spot checks periodically. Okay, hey, what am I doing well in? What are areas like you still want a little bit more from me? It could be something as simple as, hey, babe, I like when you make chicken. If you could make that, hey, twice a week as opposed to just once a week. Something as simple as that. Hey, I like when you do rub my back when I'm just having a moment. You just come over and just do something like that. Or it could be like you said, something more a little bit more intentional. But like, hey, stop cutting me off. let me get my thought out before you put your points in, stuff like that. So just making sure everybody knows, okay, these are expectations that I may have. Okay, can we meet these? Are these realistic expectations? What is the progress with those particular points? So that's the purpose of that particular question. Where am I? What are two or three things you believe that you're doing well in the relationship?
Ooh, and you know what? That goes back to what you were just saying. So we just had a conversation, like you just said, about, hey, what, is there anything I can, do or help or just point, because you kind of just get caught up, in the day and everything, and you don't do it on purpose and all that stuff. But I think probably the um probably the one that is the most is if like I give you an example. So if there's and I'm just giving an example. If I see, because her with her it's more of, hey, if you see it,
Right.
do it, right?
Right.
And I'm more of, if it's there and you let me know, cool, I'll do it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it's just like, July, I need you, have a little bit more,
Intention.
just focus a little bit more. So I gave an example, uh, just like, oh, the clothes are kind of just building up or whatever, right? I'll just go and throw them bad boys in the laundry, dry them, fold them, put them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just recognizing, that. So then that way she ain't have to, she ain't have to do that one,
Right.
because she'll still do it, everything. But it's just like, I get it,
Right.
and it's just a part of, hey, you're paying attention, to what's going on,
Right.
on it. So, yeah, just stuff like that. I think well, I know I have, because she told me.
Right.
She said,
That's good.
you've gotten better, at that. And for me, like, I don't have a problem with uh being, maybe you could call it critiqued or whatever, but it's just like, yo, if it's something we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
clothes, right? You ain't tell me to go fight Mike Tyson or something like that.
Right.
Just, all right, talk, we'll figure it out. That, to me, that's the biggest thing. Let's figure it
Okay.
out. So I I'm open to it, you know. Now there is, one thing that she hasn't been able to get out of me is that,
That's my
uh,
next question. Hold on, don't jump ahead
oh,
to that one.
okay,
We don't
okay,
know your pauses. What is Jelani doing good as a husband? What are 2 or 3 things for that?
yeah. So making sure I'm surveying the land of the house more. So it's just like, if I see something that needs to be done, I do that.
And not just,
Um,
let me interject with that, and not just looking at it as, oh, that's the wife's duty.
oh,
This is my duty.
yeah, and I never looked at it like that. It was just more of, it's just like, hey, you know what? I need a little bit more help with this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, all right, cool, I got you. I can do that. Um, I would say probably something that I'm doing, well, being more sociable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I make an effort, especially I will say this. I make an effort, especially because we have a child together,
Mm-hmm.
and you go and you do, and other parents, are there.
Right.
And I get it. I get why, because our daughter, she's gonna make friends, and she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna want to hang out, with those friends. But then also, it's just like, John, you need to have some type of, you ain't got to be kumbaya or anything like that, but you got to have some type of relationship with these parents,
Right.
and you can't just be, I'm gonna be over here and just be sitting there.
Right.
So it's just like, I've gotten better at that. So when we do, things where it's other parents around, I make sure, I, I, I I'm engaged, more, with it. Um, and 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 I get it, and I understand, the importance, of it. So I've gotten better at that, because again, I would normally just sit back, yeah,
That's like,
and I'll just be in my, in my own world or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But it is important, it is important, for it. And then here's the other thing: you never know, what can come of that,
Right.
because we don't have folks, well, I got some tickets, to this game, and
Mm-hmm.
do you want to go? Yes. Yes. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, I've gotten better at that. Oh, and the last thing, um, uh, um, the last thing, and I don't know. Do we answer questions in the
Sometimes
okay.
I see them, but I'll be trying to, so it's not breaking the conversation. But that is a good question.
The other thing is that Dang, and I forgot it just that fast.
See, this
See,
one.
who is it? Then this distracted me. But I still will answer that question. Something that I do better. That's what you asked me, right?
Yeah, what are things like you like, hey, in the husband role, I got this on lock.
Oh, it was. Uh, well, it wasn't. It's not the husband role, but as far as when I'm talking with someone, she has helped me understand like what I say and how it comes
Mm,
out. I don't mean anything by it at all.
right.
But how it comes out, she was just like, hey, you know what? You need to,
Smooth.
tweak it a little,
Yeah.
because this is going to help with that communication, with someone because they don't know you like I do. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. So she's helped me with that. You want me to answer that
Go ahead. We got time.
about the
Parenting styles.
parenting styles, right? So it was how do we handle different parenting styles? I think was the question.
Or how did you guys, yeah, I guess, more so get in alignment with your parents' styles in regards to raising up your daughter? You may have came from this background, because again, you talked about your parents. She comes from a different background. How did you align in getting some, this is how we're going to raise our daughter?
Uh, it depends on what it is. I like to gauge what I like to do is gauge the magnitude of whatever it is with the kid, right? There's certain things where like I may have a certain way that I would have did it, but I also believe it's not just one way of doing things. So if she wants to do it a different way, then I'm looking at it more of, hey, what's the worst thing that could happen, or is it bad, or is it is it just going to kill me if it goes that way? If I deem no, then go ahead, do it. Now, if it is something that we differ on it, then we just have a conversation, and it's more of explaining again, hey, because I already know you have a different raising than I have, so that's where that's coming from. So let me tell you why I'm saying
I
we
like
should
it.
do it this way,
I like
right? And you tell me why we should do it that way, and then from that we make a decision together. You know,
it.
has it always worked out? Sometimes it's like, nah, we're just gonna do it this way,
Mm-hmm.
and we just do it my way. No, we're just gonna do it that way, and we just do it her way. Then it's we have a conversation. Oh, you know what? I get what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I'll do it your way. On this, or vice versa. So
Okay.
it's not, and it's not a scoreboard. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like, oh, I'm up 3-0, on him or anything like that. Nah, it really is what is the best one, because both of them could be good. It's just
Mm-hmm.
what is the best one,
Right.
because it depends on our kid, because our kid isn't exactly like me, our kid isn't exactly like her. So it's just like, what is going to be the best thing for that kid, because we
Mm-hmm.
kind of we could get caught up into thinking like, yeah, that's how I grew up, and look
Yeah.
how
Work that can't work to work something.
right.
Right.
Yep. So
Gotcha. So,
yeah, don't be distracting me out here asking me questions in the chat,
see, that's why
and
I'm
then
like,
I'm
see
going
you,
off to the
but
side. Then I got to come back. I'm
I'm
too
here. I stay in the window. I
yeah,
stay in the
I'm
front. So,
too
I
old.
don't be ignoring y'all in the comments. Just be like, okay, because I don't want to get anybody thrown out. All right. So you talk about what you did, what you do well. What are one or two things, since you trying to jump ahead? What are one or two things you think you could provide more of or improve in the relationship? And again, this goes back to just those post checks. Okay. Hey, yeah, I'm doing this good, but I could do this a little bit more. You fine.
I got an,
We good.
I got an apology. Thank you. Thank you.
I
um,
like the engagement. So you guys are fine. You guys are good.
so ask me that one more time, Trion.
What are one or two things you think you could provide more of or improve in the relationship?
Provide more of or improve. Um,
So while you
provide
Go ahead.
No,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
I
What were you
was
saying?
going to just fill in space. 'Cause I would say, like, I think when I was married, me being more emotionally intelligent and doing things, because I'm more so, okay, this is X, Y, Z, and things are laid out, but having that ear to listen and then be able to consider, more things from a different angle. Okay, hey, I think I had just talked about this online in another post. Was talking about how we talk about with the vow of sickness and health, even think about mental health also, and just knowing how they really can play a part with things and really taking it into, consideration. And how even earlier you were talking about patience, having more patience on those things. That was something I had to learn beforehand when I was married. So now I give it to you. I'll give it to you an example.
So ask me the question one more time.
What are one or two things you can provide more of or improve in the relationship?
Uh, gosh.
Do I need to give another example for me?
No. Because I know it is something. Because by no means do I think I'm perfect or anything like that. But
Mm,
something that I can improve on. Mm, you might have stumped me on that.
so this,
I have to think.
this part
I
of
have to.
relationships.
I have to. I have to think about. I have to think about that one. Because I know it is something that I can improve upon. Um, you know what? I know it's probably because of this, because of me. Um, 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 what is it? Introvert, where you don't
Mhm. Yeah.
engage as much. Being more of an extrovert, but not necessarily just in communicating or being social. I think it's more of uh,
Expressing.
yeah, expressing myself. But when it comes to, I'll give you an example or whatever. Like my thing is that if we go to a restaurant, um, or if we go and say we stay at a hotel or whatever, and just say the service is bad, right?
Mm,
I just be like, look, we just not gonna come back here no more. I I think I need to do a better job, on just stating like, nah, this ain't this ain't it,
right.
right? We work too hard for our money and everything. We just don't give you our money just because,
Right.
So I think being more vocal
Okay.
like that in situations, because she'll be like, "Hey, man, you must tripping,"
Mhm. Right.
and I guess because she'll say it, I just kind of chill because I'm just like, man, we just not coming back.
He said he
Like,
don't want onions on his steak. Why you put onions on his thing?
yeah,
And you just like, I just put them on the side. Hey, it ain't that cool.
yeah, and I'm just like, man, it's like don't let it, because I'm like, don't let that stress you out.
Mhm.
But there are times where it is just like, you know what, um, something needs to be said. Maybe not every time, but something need to be said. And I've done that before, but I just think I probably need to when the occasion presents itself, maybe do it a little bit more. You
Mhm.
know, She's right. It's just like we you know we work too hard to
Take
be,
it back. Right.
yeah,
Okay. So being more vocal, that's
yeah,
one thing.
just being more vocal, be like, I got it, I got it,
Okay.
because sometimes if she say something, she gonna get us in a fight or
Mhm.
something like that. Wait, nah, Otis Otis ain't been down since 63, so I ain't trying to go down in 2024.
Let's, let's let's not do that. Let's not do that. All right. So what's one other thing you think you can do better? And I think, and I get why you thinking about it. I give some other examples that I've heard from other married men. They were saying that I know a few who said they could have did better with being present in the relationship. They felt that just because they were the breadwinner, they were making all the money. I got the money coming to the house. You take care of everything else. I don't have to be as present as being a father or being I got you again, so I don't have to date you as much as we were doing before. I don't have to say, "Hey, I love you," and give us the caressing and then not leading to it gotta be sex at the end goal, just to show that other physical intimacy. That hey, I still care about you as a person as a whole. Some other men have talked about things like that.
I know. All right. I know I said it before. One more time. Ask me the question again.
Yeah, hey, you some riddling or something. All right. So in this case, what are one or two things you could provide more of or improve in the relationship? Now, you already said
Got it.
you can be more unique, you can be more vocal.
Yeah. Um, say, well, specifically, say good morning.
Okay.
You know, and again, I'm like, and that kind of goes still with that vocal,
Mhm.
but sing because like we they have that thing called love languages and all that stuff that people talk about, and it's just I'll give her a hug, and everything. Uh, but for some people, like, yeah, that's great,
Mhm.
but I want to hear something
Right.
or whatever. So it's just like saying good morning, because because the way I think of it is that um, the reason she would say it is that she want to hear it,
Right.
and it must do something.
Mhm.
So it's just like, yeah. So just doing that more. I've been working on it, but just improving on that because that could just get her day started and be like, you know what, I'm gonna conquer the world or whatever. I don't know. It could be anything. But I think also me being from up north, son, and just like, oh, and she's from South where Southern hospitality maybe it's just like, it's a nice way to greet somebody, Jelani. Just say,
Right.
say good morning, you know. And I'm like, all right, I got it. So I could do that more. I had started it, and being that you brought it up now, see, look what you done started, Treon. So
That's the
now
purpose of the show.
I
That's the
make
purpose
sure,
of the show.
I gotta make sure I get back to it. So tomorrow morning, in my Dave Chappelle voice, I'm gonna say good morning,
Say good
morning,
morning, man. Son. There you
yeah,
go.
morning, son.
And that's how it should be, because I think, like you said, it's just the starting the day with something positive, and you're her person, so she would like to hear that. Hey, babe, good morning, something like that. Like somebody, you just say some words from her. It's the little things. We don't always got to think it's the big grand gesture. She doesn't need a bouquet of roses every morning. Just say, hey, good morning, babe, something like that.
What up?
Okay, there you go. Just it's some kind of acknowledgement. So we already acknowledged, okay, a child is in the picture. That's one of the other questions on here. The next one, this is the one I really like the most, probably. With kids being in the picture, how do you dedicate time to your partner aside from just being good parents?
Dedicate
And the
to my
yeah, and the reason this comes up is because I know other married couples with kids where some have said they're fantastic as parents. The kids are in all these activities. We got a system run out. You pick up, I drop off, blah 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 blah. They're in the best schools. The kids are taken care of, but the marriage isn't getting that same level of attention. And even with COVID back in 2020, these people are now you stuck in the house with each other. And kids don't have all these activities and stuff. There aren't any distractions. Do you two even still like each other? And even with those who kids are grown, they're empty nesters now. The kids were the main thing really even keeping them together. So the marriage was the back burner. We were just married in title. And some people would say, I was a married single parent. I was a married single mother. I was a married single father. How do you two maintain your relationship aside from just being good parents?
it goes back to that communication, piece. Um, I think some of it is just talking about something that just having a conversation that does not include uh,
Right.
children. You know, um, she'll point out like we'll talk about something, and it's crazy because this just happened, and you've probably seen it, but um, bringing up something that will create a conversation,
Mhm.
um, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, whether it's just general, stuff. Like right now, maybe like, hey, you seen that that Kamala Harris, um, commercial that they're doing on her, like, they're bashing Kamala and everything, or they're bashing, Trump or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll just we'll literally break down the commercial. And it's just like, man, it went all gray, so it makes it so dark, and and we're just like, wow, what are they doing in these, in these commercials and everything? And we find it funny, because it's just like it's over the top, and it's like, did you really need that to get your point across? So we'll have conversations like that, and then it just we're a little wacky, as well. So it'll start creating, did you see anything, in there that didn't make sense? Did you see anything in there? You see how they edited that, did you see, the words they put up? Or, hey, you know what? The voiceover was talking, but that's not exactly what they were saying, So just little stuff like that, having conversations about just general stuff. You want to, I'm a firm believer in making sure you have, I don't know, I won't say necessarily scheduled time, because I'm a organic type of person. I don't, yes, let's go out, or yes, let's do this, yes, let's do that, but not as, hey, August 15th at 2:30 p.m.
Right.
Nah, it's like next week. Let's do X, Y, and Z or whatever, right? Um, I know your kids are important, but I'm a firm believer that you had a relationship before they arrive. You need to continue that relationship while they're here, and you're what you were saying earlier. So then after they're gone, then you have that relationship, because you kind of forget how to operate
Right.
without them, because they're always there, and of course they're a priority,
Yeah.
And they should be, but it goes back to that priority. What I was telling you, about is that you can have multiple, priorities, and just make it happen. So making sure you got, that time set aside. It doesn't have, and then that's the thing. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a spectacle. It doesn't have to be, a presentation or anything, like that. It could simply go walking. It could be, go to the grocery store together. It could be, in addition to the other stuff, the movies,
Right.
take a trip and all. Everybody, of course, everybody always enjoys it.
Hey, finances may not always say we can't always go to Mexico every other weekend. Like, hey, come on, man.
Yeah.
We're going to the park. Let's do this.
Yeah. So just stay active, with that, because again, the kid, because once when they done, this is the thing. Once when children are done with you, they are done with you. And I know my child. Once when she gets to high school, she's done with us.
Right.
She'll be like, "Who are you? I don't even want to hang out."
Pay for something. Huh? Senior year. Yeah. So until it's time for you to pay for something, especially senior year. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I already know she's gonna come back then and be like, "Hey, what's up, homie? What's up? I'm father. Yeah, bro. All that stuff." But yeah, it's just like, so. Eventually, they gonna get rid of you. So you gotta still know, like you got your own thing. And I will say this as well. Um, Making sure, hang out with your friends from time to time, as well. So it's not always just the two of you spending time together. You go out, long as long as you ain't, you're like, dang, Jelani, you've been out 5 days this week with Treon. Like, what's going on? But
turn up.
yeah, hang out with your friends and everything. because that just reboots you. That's a different experience, and it's an experience that you had before. Because again, before kids, before marriage, before all of that stuff, you would go out and hang out,
Right.
with your just as long as again, as long as you ain't doing it every single night, ain't nothing wrong with that. Go out, hang out, get something to eat or whatever, laugh or whatever. Then you come back, maybe you talk about that.
And I
That
like that point also because I've seen several other schools, like with me being when I was a supervisor at orientation, everybody has to introduce themselves and say a fun fact. And some people would just say, "Well, yeah, my name is Treon, and I had 2 kids." Okay, who are you beyond just being a parent? And also, okay, who are you beyond just being a spouse? Like, who are you? So, in a sense, you were even talking about just keeping a sense of individuality with the two, but not for the sake of saying like I'm single. Really, no, I just still am a person for the relationship. As a couple, us as a couple, we are a couple before the kid, so we were more than just parents. We have a whole package. There are more layers to us aside from just being a parent, just being a spouse. So I like those points. And the last question I'm going to ask out for this list, huh?
We're at the end.
Yeah, we're at the end. So the last question: what is the weirdest question your partner has ever asked you? So did she ever ask you, "Hey, if I was a bug, would you still love me?" Anything like that?
Weirdest question she asked me. Dang.
Because
Weirdest question.
I think those. Like if I was mustard, like would you still love me if I turned into a pack of mustard? It's like where did it even come from? Makes sense. If I had 6 arms, would you still love me?
I think I I was not trying to act all mushy here, but I think the weirdest thing she asked me, I think she said it was something like, um, if you only had $1 and I needed it, would you give it to me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, I'm like, that was just weird to me because I'm just like, one, I'm thinking like, what can I get for $1? But anyway, obviously you need it, so I'll give it to you, and then we'll figure out how to get the dollar back at some point. But
Ask you if it was the last piece of chicken in the box, would you let her eat it? That was the question right there.
ooh, depends on what chicken it is. Ooh.
So
Nah, I would have gave it to her because she always eating out of my plate anyway.
okay,
So
that's they go to the whole thing. Like, look, man, my food is I gotta eat too. I need nutrients also. Stop it.
uh,
Stop it.
but Treon, see, this is the thing though, and then this is bad parenting because guess who sees that?
Mm-hmm.
The little one. Now I got 2 people in my plate.
On your plate. Oh, yours look good. Let me try that.
It's the same thing. We eating the same thing. So that's why I eat in the car now. How about that?
Right. You got to do the thing. You eat in the car before you even go in the house.
Well, if I go to Zaxby's or something like that, or Chick-fil-A, I'll hit 2 fries. Just so I'll hit 2 fries.
Right.
2 fries.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, all right, I got my little, taste buds going, and then I'll go in there, and then that way, when they be like, hey, let me get some of them fries, at least I'm like, well, I already had 2, so yeah,
Right.
good spot.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So we had actually a lengthy conversation tonight. We wanted to make sure stay organic. It was good. And again, just getting the mindset and perception from somebody who's married. You've been doing this for almost 20 years. Marriage as a whole. So obviously, you must be doing something right, unless you guys are just dry
Try,
and destitute of passion and anything.
try,
Just
try.
we love each other. We here. Oh, what's the secret? What's that married couple on and living couple? We still together. We
Yeah,
don't
they
want
got
we don't want them situations.
yeah.
So all the guests that I have on, I also give a time at the end. Is there anything that you want to promote before we leave or anything like that?
Promote. The only thing I'm on. You know what? This is what I'm going to promote here for everyone. Not anything about me or anything like that. I will say is that um, do your due diligence. That's what I'm gonna say. And what I mean by that when I say do your due diligence is that you have a lot of stuff out here that uh, can and people who are influencers and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but influencers for entertainment purposes. They're influencers for their own
Right.
gain. On so I'm glad you're having these conversations with people just to have real conversation because we need these type of discussions to happen so people see that they are real, not some of this fabricated stuff
Right.
that we see out there. We see, and it's just like, why do you think the list of first date restaurant things come up or
Right.
whatever? Because you know somebody got an agenda, somebody is doing something, and having a conversation of just like, what, going out with someone and just really worried about having a good time and finding out who they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Right.
entertaining. That's not messy. That's not, and it's just like those things don't get highlighted. So I'm just like, whatever it is, when it comes to relationships, man, do your own due diligence. You can take advice, you can take things that you see or whatever, but sit down. If you need to write it out or whatever, have a conversation with yourself and really break it down and do your due diligence. And then go from there. And that can, to me, promote. That's what I want to
Yeah.
promote. Do your due diligence, man.
Doing
You
due diligence and going beyond surface thing and not just getting caught up in the scandal and the post the hit things are just made just for engagement. And like I tell everybody, even with this platform, like we're not trying to do anything controversial, scandalous, or anything like that. It's really trying to promote, okay, this is where you think, okay, what can we do with that? What can we grow from that? Stuff like that. And even your sense, okay, hey, going against the stigma of, hey, there aren't any faithful black men out here. Nobody really wants to stay committed in a marriage anymore. Nobody, because there aren't any good black fathers and present fathers. No, okay, there are some people out there. Please don't let social media make how you think
please,
of.
please don't, because the the school that I go to pick up my daughter, it's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of us. It's a bunch of us at all the events, at all the picking them up from school, dropping them off from school. If they got they're in chorus or they're in a play or anything. I see brothers all the time.
Good.
A whole bunch of us brothers just competed in a musical chair competition at the school. I won, by the way.
Okay, not surprised.
I won.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that competitiveness. See what I'm
Right.
talking about?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, don't believe that, because and I got too many friends that got kids that went to college. They in their lives. These kids love the mess out of them. They're taking 50 million pictures with them. You see them, like, that's not true. It yeah. There's some guys out there that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but it's not like it's me
It's
and
not
one
it.
of you.
Right.
It's a bunch of brothers out there doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Because I'm looking forward to going to those donuts with Dad's thing.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
not.
kill some of these
No,
donuts.
you're not.
Why
No,
not?
you're not, because they're gonna take your donut too. So
No, I'm
it's
gonna hold it up high. She can't reach. They can't reach it. So,
I thought so too.
mm,
And I got bewildered and bamboozled, and I think I got a morsel of that donut.
that's terrible.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
good.
donuts.
Yeah.
No, that's all bad. Well, since you're not gonna promote it, I'll tell everybody. Hey, y'all, he has a show called the Wait a Minute Show. How often and when how can people tune into the Wait a Minute Show, sir?
Oh man, every Tuesday, I drop an episode. So Wait a Minute Show is just basically, see, there you go, man. All right, so the Wait a Minute Show, it's a sports show, but we also, we talk about other topics as well. It's on YouTube, being broadcasted, but the easiest way to find it is just go to the website, thewaitaminuteshow.com. Waitaminuteshow.com. We'll do that. And also what we do, and since we're getting close and everything, there's another thing about, brothers and all this stuff, what we do. I started my own toy drive. So during the holiday season, man, this is year 12
Mhm.
for us for the toy drive and everything. So it's not only just a show; it's about giving back, helping out the community, being just being good people and all that stuff. But go to the website, you get some comedy there. We talk about sports, we talk about different topics. We'll talk about power and different episodes and all that stuff, and have a good time. But then when it's time to help out the kids or whatever, we're doing that as well. So we've done quite a bit to be able to help kids at a nonprofit organization. But I won't bore y'all with all of that right now. But just check out the website, man, and click on episodes, and
So
you'll be able to
to promote this, I'm putting. I mean, I know you weren't trying to put it out there, but hey, hey,
see
and
that
that's why he got the green screen. So that explains why he got the green background because he uses
that,
for his.
that that's that vocal stuff. See, I'm still working on it. I need to be vocal. Go to the waitaminuteshow.com.
There you go. There you go. Let's you gotta close it. So all right. So thank you all for joining for this week. I'll try to post this up as quickly as possible, both on Instagram and on YouTube. Again, the whole purpose of us, we're not specialists, but we are living life. And so we're just getting those perceptions and everything out there just to engage in good conversation and for people just to see what's really going on here in the world beyond social media. So thank you all for joining this week. Thank you, Mr. Jelani. And I'll see you all on the next episode. Enjoy your evening.